The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or as we commonly know it as NASA, is an independent agency of the US federal government responsible for the civilian space program as well as aeronautics and space research. NASA has been known to send different animals into space for the purpose of research and studying. But back in the 1990s, when we had the space shuttles available for ferrying stuff into orbit, we sent jellyfish into space. It seemed comically simple to come up with a science experiment, pick up an object or a living thing, launch it into orbit and see what happens. But it wasn't as easy as it seemed. For NASA to accept your proposal and send something to space, you need to have a very good reason for it. You couldn't just send anything up there. So when the astronauts shepherded jellyfish polyps onto space on SLS on 1st June 1991, the scientist who proposed it had a very good justification for their experiment. So what is it that scientists wanted to see by sending jellyfish to space? And how does a jellyfish give us any information about interplanetary travel? Let's find out in today's video. When a jellyfish grows, it forms calcium sulfate crystals at the margin of its bill. These crystals are surrounded by a little cell pocket coated in specialized hairs, and these pockets are equally spaced around the bill. When jellies turn, the crystals roll down with gravity to the bottom of the pocket, moving the cell hairs, which in turn sends signals to the neurons of the jellyfish. In this way, jellies are able to sense up from down. All they need is gravity. Now it's very interesting that what makes this experiment significant is the fact that humans have similar structures to sense which way is up or down using the hairs inside of your ears. So you might be unaware, but there was a point of time when there were around 6,000 jellyfish orbiting the Earth in a spaceship. So again, coming back to the story, scientists sent those jellyfish polyps onto space and let them develop there. And after the jellyfish progressed from polyps to medusae aboard the shuttle, they were then returned back to the Earth. So now with the jellyfishes returned back to Earth, the next step for the scientists was to examine how the newly formed jellyfishes swam around in Earth. And they found that the swimming of the space jellies wasn't good. Unlike jellyfish reared on Earth, the space jellies had trouble telling up from down and couldn't move as gracefully as their counterparts. Now what is the real world application of this little science project? Every bit of information obtained from this jellyfish trip to space is to be used for interplanetary, interstellar and deep space travel for humans and other animals. If we ever want to leave Earth and colonize a different planet in space, with the current technology available, humans have to spend generations in a spaceship while traveling to another system, and there would be multiple generations born inside the spaceship, and we will have to figure out how children born aboard the spaceship will acquire a taste for gravity once they reach a habitable planet. Otherwise, the colonization efforts would stumble even before we set foot on a planet. So if jellyfish had trouble developing their gravity sense in space, it is very likely that human space babies would have the same trouble too. And that's how a jellyfish tells us that we are not ready for interstellar or deep space travel. Not yet. Unless we find a faster mode of transport. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment in both YouTube and Facebook. The channel needs your support to grow. Thank you.